Have you ever noticed how the world feels different at night? Not just quieter, but thinner, as if the distance between who you are and who you could be suddenly shrinks. There's a reason for that, and it has nothing to do with superstition or coincidence. Right now, as you listen, you're approaching the most powerful state your mind ever enters. A state so receptive, so open, that whatever settles into it doesn't just pass through you, it becomes you. And that's why this moment matters more than anything you did all day. Most people are afraid of real change, even when they say they want it. Not because change is painful, but because it's unfamiliar. The mind clings to what it knows, even if what it knows is struggle, worry, and limitation. But tonight, something different is happening. You're not here by accident. You didn't stumble onto these words randomly. Something in you knew it was time to stop fighting, stop forcing, and let a deeper intelligence take over. As your body begins to rest, your conscious mind starts loosening its grip. The part of you that analyzes, doubts, and questions everything is getting tired. It's been working all day, replaying conversations, planning tomorrow, worrying about outcomes. And now it's ready to step aside. That's not a loss of control. It's the beginning of real power. There is a sacred stillness that arrives just before sleep. In that stillness, the subconscious mind rises to the surface. This is the mind that never sleeps, never argues, never resists. It accepts whatever you give it and sets to work without question. It doesn't care about your past. It doesn't measure probabilities. It only knows one thing: what feels real right now. And right now, you are safe. You are supported. You are held by something far greater than effort or willpower. You don't need to protect yourself in this moment. You don't need to stay alert. Nothing needs to be solved. Nothing needs to be fixed. The day is over, and you are allowed to rest. Feel how your body responds when you stop trying to hold it together. Muscles that have been tight all day begin to soften. Your breathing finds its own rhythm, slow and natural. Each exhale releases a little more of the weight you've been carrying, even if you don't know where that weight came from. There is no need to rush this. Nothing is chasing you. Nothing is required of you. The more you allow yourself to sink into this feeling of ease, the more your inner world begins to shift. This is the doorway Joseph Murphy spoke of, the moment when the conscious guard steps down and the subconscious opens wide. For most people, this doorway goes unused every night. They fall asleep tangled in fear, replaying problems, feeding the same old patterns. And then they wake up confused as to why nothing ever changes. But tonight, you're doing something different. You're choosing to plant a different seed. Your subconscious mind is listening now. Not with ears, but with sensation. It understands feelings, not words, and the feeling beginning to spread through you is one of relief, of permission, of finally not having to struggle. Notice how the bed supports you completely. You don't have to hold yourself up. Gravity is doing the work. The earth itself is carrying you. Let that realization sink in. You are supported in ways you rarely acknowledge. With each breath, your body sinks deeper, heavier, calmer. Thoughts start to slow, not because you're forcing them away, but because they no longer feel important. The noise of the day fades into the background like a radio being turned down in another room. And as this quiet deepens, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. Your inner state starts to change its frequency. Not metaphorically, but literally. Your nervous system shifts from alertness to receptivity. Stress chemistry dissolves. A new balance takes its place. This is the state where transformation begins without effort. You may notice a warmth spreading through your chest or a gentle heaviness in your limbs. This is your body recognizing safety. When the body feels safe, the subconscious becomes accessible. When the subconscious is accessible, change becomes inevitable. There is nothing you need to visualize, nothing you need to imagine, no future you have to chase. The work is not in creating something new, but in allowing what already exists within you to surface. Because the truth is, the version of you that is whole, abundant, and at peace has never been absent. It has simply been covered by noise, tension, and old beliefs that no longer serve you. As you rest here, that old identity begins to loosen, not through force, but through understanding. You don't need to carry the story of who you've been into this moment. You don't need to prove anything anymore. Feel the sense of completion that comes when you stop chasing. There is a quiet confidence in this stillness, a knowing that doesn't need reassurance. Your subconscious mind recognizes this feeling. It knows this state. It remembers it. And it is accepting it now as your new baseline. Every cell in your body is responding. Your heartbeat slows into a steady rhythm. Your breathing deepens effortlessly. The mind that once raced now drifts. In this state, the barriers between what you desire and what you experience begin to dissolve. Not because you asked for it, but because you aligned with it. The subconscious does not respond to effort, it responds to identity. And tonight, you are stepping into a different identity, one that does not struggle for outcomes, one that expects things to work out naturally. This shift may feel subtle, but it is profound. It is the kind of change that rearranges your life quietly, without drama, without resistance. You are no longer transmitting the frequency of worry. You are no longer feeding the signal of lack. You are resting in the feeling of sufficiency. And the subconscious takes this as instruction. While you sleep, it will continue this work. It will reorganize patterns you've carried for years. Beliefs you didn't know you had will soften and release. New pathways will form effortlessly. You don't have to monitor this process. You don't have to make sure it's working. The subconscious doesn't need supervision. It only needs permission, and permission has been given. There is nothing to fear about the results of this process. Fear comes from the belief that change will take something from you. But this change only removes what never belonged to you in the first place. The tension, the doubt, the constant pressure to be more, do more, try harder. What remains is clarity, peace, a quiet sense of rightness. As this settles in, you may notice a gentle expansion inside, as if something has opened. That openness is trust. Not blind trust, but embodied trust. The kind that lives in the body, not the mind. This trust allows you to let go of control. And when control dissolves, flow takes its place. Tonight, as you drift deeper, your subconscious is aligning you with outcomes that feel natural instead of forced. Opportunities will begin to appear without strain. Solutions will surface without effort. The right thoughts will come at the right time. Not because you demanded them, but because you stopped blocking them. Your role now is simply to rest, to allow sleep to arrive when it's ready, to let the mind dissolve into the body and the body dissolve into the bed. There is a deep intelligence at work within you. It has always known how to heal, how to guide, how to create harmony. It has been waiting for the noise to quiet so it could be heard. And now it is free to act. As consciousness softens further, you may slip in and out of awareness. That's perfect. That's where the deepest impressions are made. In these gentle waves between waking and sleep, the subconscious absorbs everything. It absorbs the feeling of safety. It absorbs the feeling of ease. It absorbs the knowing that you are supported. These impressions don't fade when you wake up. They carry forward. They shape how you perceive the world tomorrow, how you respond, what you notice, what you allow. And over time, they reshape your life. You may not remember these words in the morning, and that's fine. The conscious mind doesn't need to remember. The subconscious already has what it needs. While you sleep, it will continue to reinforce this state. Again and again, breath after breath, hour after hour. The old patterns weaken as the new ones strengthen. This happens naturally, the way darkness fades when light appears. There is nothing dramatic about this transformation. No sudden shock, no force. Just a gentle, steady realignment. You are returning to yourself. Feel how peaceful it is to not need answers right now, to not need reassurance, to not need proof. This peace is not fragile. It doesn't disappear when circumstances change. It is rooted deeper than that. It is rooted in knowing. As sleep draws closer, allow yourself to sink fully into it. Let go of the edges of awareness. Let thoughts blur and drift. Let the body grow heavy and still. Everything important is already underway. Tonight, your subconscious is working for you, not against you, not repeating old fears, but building a new foundation based on calm certainty. This is not something you have to earn. It is something you allow. And as you rest, The results will unfold in ways that feel almost effortless. You may wake up feeling lighter, clearer, more grounded. Or you may simply notice, over time, that life feels less resistant. That's how real change happens, not with fear, not with force, but with surrender. You are safe to sleep. You are safe to change. You are safe to receive. And as you drift now into deep, peaceful rest, know this quietly, without effort. Something within you is shifted, and it cannot shift back. Sleep now. Sleep continues to deepen now, not suddenly, but gently, like a tide pulling you inward. Awareness becomes softer around the edges. Thoughts no longer form clearly, they dissolve before they finish. This is the place where the subconscious takes full command, where the mind that builds reality begins its quiet work. There is nothing left for you to do, no effort to apply, no intention to hold. The very act of listening has already set everything in motion. The conscious mind, relieved of responsibility, drifts into rest, while the deeper mind remains awake, attentive, precise. In this depth, the subconscious begins sorting through old instructions. Beliefs that once felt necessary are now recognized as outdated. The mind does not argue with them. It simply lets them go, the way a body releases tension when it no longer feels threatened. Patterns that kept you alert, guarded, and braced for struggle begin to loosen. The subconscious understands that survival is no longer the goal. Expansion is, ease is, alignment is. You may feel moments where you are almost asleep, then briefly aware again. This is ideal. In these spaces, impressions land most deeply. The subconscious absorbs without resistance, without analysis. It absorbs the feeling of being supported. It absorbs the sense of safety and letting go. It absorbs the expectation that things work out. These are not wishes. They are states, and states become realities. As the body rests, the subconscious begins recalibrating how you respond to the world. Old emotional reactions soften. Situations that once triggered anxiety will soon feel neutral, even distant. Not because you are detached, but because you are grounded. The nervous system learns a new rhythm tonight, a slower one, a steadier one that does not rush toward problems or brace for impact. From this rhythm, clearer decisions emerge naturally. You are no longer rehearsing the future in fear. You are allowing it to form in harmony. Breath moves quietly in and out. Each breath seals the work further. Each exhale releases another layer of tension that no longer belongs to you. There is no struggle here, only unwinding. The subconscious begins reinforcing a new assumption that life supports you. That movement forward does not require force. That receiving is safe. This assumption becomes the lens through which tomorrow will be experienced, and the day after that, and the day after that. Change does not announce itself loudly. It shows up as ease where there used to be effort, as calm where there used to be urgency, as clarity where there used to be confusion. Tonight is the beginning of that shift. Sleep grows heavier now, muscles completely at rest, jaw relaxed, shoulders dropped, face smooth and still. The body has surrendered fully to the bed, and in this surrender the mind follows. The subconscious continues its work quietly, methodically. It aligns thoughts, emotions, and expectations into coherence, into flow. There is no fear in this process. Nothing is being taken from you. Only what was never truly yours is falling away. You are not losing control. You are releasing resistance. The deeper you sleep, the deeper this alignment settles. It reaches places words never could. It touches the core of how you see yourself. And what it installs there is simple, stable, and unshakable. You are enough. You are supported. You are moving in the right direction. These truths do not need repetition. They simply become known. As the night continues, the subconscious will revisit these impressions again and again, strengthening them with every cycle of sleep. This is how permanence is created, not through force, not through effort, but through consistency and rest. When morning comes, you may not remember anything specific. You may not feel dramatically different, but you will notice subtle shifts, a lighter mood, a calmer reaction, a quiet confidence you didn't have to think your way into. These are signs of real change. For now, sleep. Let the mind drift fully beneath the surface. Let the body remain still and supported. Let the subconscious finish what it has begun. Everything is in place. Everything is underway. Nothing more is required. Sleep deeply, rest completely, allow. The night holds you now. Time stretches and softens, losing its sharp edges. There is no past pulling at you and no future demanding attention. There is only this slow, gentle descent into rest, where the mind no longer separates moments and the body forgets the need to stay alert. In this depth, the subconscious moves with quiet precision. It doesn't rush. It doesn't hesitate. It knows exactly what to keep and what to release. Old habits of thought are gently unhooked, not with force, but with understanding. They simply no longer make sense here. There is a deep intelligence working through you, one that has always known how to restore balance. It regulates your heartbeat. It repairs your body. It integrates your experiences. And tonight, it is reorganizing your inner world so that life feels less like a struggle and more like a flow. You may drift into dreams, images flickering briefly and dissolving just as quickly. Even these are part of the process. The subconscious uses symbols and sensations to integrate change, weaving new meaning beneath the surface. Nothing you dream tonight is random. Nothing you feel is wasted. Every moment of rest strengthens the alignment that has begun. The breath remains slow and steady. Each inhale draws in calm. Each exhale releases what is no longer needed. This rhythm continues on its own now, without your awareness, without effort. The body is completely still, yet alive with quiet renewal. Cells regenerate. Systems recalibrate. Tension drains away like water sinking into the earth. You are not holding on to anything anymore. There is no grip, no resistance, just openness. This openness allows something new to take root. A subtle expectation that things work out. A quiet trust that replaces vigilance. A sense that you don't have to be on guard to be safe. As these impressions settle, the subconscious accepts them as truth, not as ideas, but as lived reality. This truth becomes the background of your experience, shaping how you move through the world without conscious thought. The night deepens further. Awareness thins. Sleep becomes heavier, richer, more complete. And still, beneath it all, the work continues. The subconscious aligns you with circumstances that match this inner calm. It nudges you toward choices that feel natural instead of forced. It prepares you to recognize opportunities without strain. You do not need to know how this happens. Understanding is not required. Trust is enough. There is no fear here. Fear cannot survive in this depth of rest. It dissolves, unable to maintain form without attention. What remains is stability, a grounded sense of being okay, even without answers. This stability is not temporary. It is being woven into you now, layer by layer, breath by breath. As the hours pass, the old urgency fades further into the distance. The habit of rushing relaxes. The need to anticipate problems loosens its hold. You are learning, at a level beyond words, that nothing needs to be forced. The body knows this. The mind remembers it. The subconscious locks it in. Sleep holds you steady as the night continues. There is no interruption, no disturbance, only rest and renewal. When the morning eventually arrives, it will not pull you abruptly from this state. It will meet you gently, and you will carry this calm with you, even if you don't notice it right away. For now, there is only sleep, deep, undisturbed, safe. Let yourself sink fully. Let the night do its work. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The stillness grows even deeper now, as if the night itself has wrapped around you. The space between breaths widens. Awareness fades in and out like a distant shoreline, barely visible, barely relevant. This is the depth where the subconscious works most freely, unobserved, uninterrupted. There is no longer a sense of trying to sleep. Sleep has already taken you. What remains is a gentle drifting, a floating state where the body rests completely and the mind releases its final threads of effort. In this depth, the subconscious completes its reordering. It reviews the impressions received tonight and accepts them without question. Calm becomes familiar, safety becomes assumed, ease becomes normal. The nervous system settles into a new baseline, one that no longer scans for danger or prepares for struggle. From this place, your entire inner world feels quieter, steadier, more coherent. Even silence has a texture here. It feels full rather than empty, supportive rather than hollow. You are not alone in this stillness. You are held by it. The body continues its natural renewal. Muscles repair. Cells regenerate. Systems balance themselves effortlessly. Everything knows what to do when it is no longer interfered with. There is a profound rest happening now, deeper than ordinary sleep. A rest that reaches into layers of tension accumulated over long periods of time. Layers that dissolve without resistance, without memory. Old emotional weight releases gently, like mist evaporating in morning light. There is no drama in its leaving, it simply fades. The subconscious seals this night's work quietly. It integrates calm into identity. It integrates trust into expectation. It integrates ease into your sense of self. Nothing about this feels forced. It feels natural, inevitable. The mind is quiet now, not because it has been silenced, but because it no longer has anything urgent to say. It rests, content to let the deeper intelligence guide things from here. Time continues to pass, but you are no longer tracking it. Hours move by unnoticed, filled with restoration and integration. When dreams arise, they are soft and fleeting. When awareness flickers, it quickly sinks again. Everything moves toward deeper rest. This night is doing more than restoring energy. It is reshaping how you relate to life, how you meet experiences, how you respond instead of react. And this reshaping does not require effort. It happens because resistance has been removed. You are no longer bracing. You are no longer anticipating. You are simply resting. The body remains heavy, supported, unmoving. The breath flows quietly on its own. The mind floats beneath the surface. Nothing needs your attention. Nothing is missing. Nothing is wrong. The night continues its work with patience and precision. Everything unfolds in the correct order, without instruction. Sleep deepens further. Rest completes itself. The subconscious finishes what it began. Remain here, drift, rest. All is well. And now, as the night reaches its deepest point, everything settles into completion. There is no movement left to make, no inner adjustment required. What needed to happen has already happened. What needed to shift has already shifted. Your subconscious rests in certainty. Not effort, not hope, but certainty. The kind that does not announce itself, does not argue, does not need reassurance. It simply knows. The body lies perfectly still, supported completely. Breath flows so softly it barely registers. The mind has dissolved into quiet awareness, and even that awareness is fading, drifting into pure rest. Nothing from the outside world can reach you here. No worries follow you. No expectations intrude. You are beyond the reach of tension, beyond the pull of unfinished thoughts. This is where integration completes itself. Throughout the rest of the night, this calm remains uninterrupted. The subconscious continues its quiet reinforcement, weaving this state into you so naturally that it feels as though it has always been there. When morning eventually comes, it will rise gently. And when you open your eyes, you will not need to remember anything from this night for it to matter. The change will already be present. It will show itself in how steady you feel, in how lightly you carry yourself, in how little effort it takes to respond instead of react. You will move through the day without urgency. You will think without pressure. You will act without fear, and none of it will feel forced or dramatic. It will feel normal, familiar, as though you have returned to something you once forgot. For now, there is only sleep, deep, unbroken, safe. Let the night hold you. Let the silence keep you. Let rest finish its work. All is complete, all is aligned, all is well. Sleep.